Good evening. So my name is Mr. Feldman. I'm one of the assistant head teachers at Prendergast School, and one of the subjects that I teach is BTEC IT. I'm going to take you through a short presentation. It will last about 13 minutes. I'll talk over it, talk through it, and then at the end I'll leave a few minutes for you to ask any questions. If you've got any questions during that time, please just pop them into the chat, and I'll pick them up at the end. So I'm just going to push my presentation to you now. Okay, so you should be seeing my presentation, and here we go. All right, so I'm going to cover 3 topics tonight. I'm going to look at what are BTECs, why study at BTECs at Prendergast School, and kind of broadly what's good about BTECs. Okay, so BTECs are vocational courses that have been designed around very specific industries in the UK. They are available things from engineering to the healthcare sector, and obviously to IT. They're designed around something called the National Occupational Standards, which means that which is a set of standards set up nationally by employees saying, this is what we actually need people coming out of education to know. And so you can trust that what you are getting on a BTEC is what you need to know in a job. Okay, so why do a BTEC? Well, there is a significant coursework component in it. So if you're not good at completing coursework and meeting deadlines, maybe BTECs aren't for you. They are equivalent to A-levels, and the vast majority of UK universities accept BTECs, and they are incredibly valued in industry as well. So even if you go to university, you can still afterwards rely on your BTEC knowledge to secure you jobs and actually get you employment. So at Prendergast, we're really proud of our performance with BTECs. We always score really highly. These are our ALP scores in the last 3 years. Actually, this last year's we got a 1, which puts us in the top 5% nationally in the country, which we're really, really happy with. And we've hovered around the 1, 2, 3 area. Year before last, we got a 4. There's a bit of an anomaly year. But we've hovered around the 1, 2, 3 area in ALP. So we're really highly regarded within the school community. And nationally, we do really well with our students in the school. So why study BTECs, and particularly BTEC IT at Prendergast? We've got fantastic facilities. They are state-of-the-art. There's no sharing computers. We've got fantastic facilities for you to use outside of the classroom. This is just one of our IT rooms. They are set out so that you can use the computers for practical work as well as doing theory work at the desk, like in a normal classroom. Really versatile suites, and we've got several of these around the school. We insist on students having a grade 5 in English, language, and in maths. It's really important that students come to us knowing that we know that you can write really well because you've got quite large projects that you need to submit, and that you've got a good grasp of mathematics. There's a lot of database and spreadsheet work that we do, so you need to have good grasp of English and maths, and that's why we insist on a grade 5 or above. So there are 5 units that we could do. You have to do 4, and we choose not to do the website development. So the mandatory units you can see on the right there are information technology systems, creating systems to manage information, using social media in business, and data modeling. We don't do the website development, and I'll go into that a little bit later on. You can see the size of the units here. You can see how big they are in terms of how much time you need to spend on them. We do Unit 1 and Unit 3 in Year 12, and then Unit 2 and Unit 5 in Year 13. So Unit 1 is kind of the theory of IT. So what's inside the box? How does that information get transmitted around the world? How are we connecting different groups of people together? Looks a bit at social media. It also addresses things like the digital divide, and it asks ethical questions about how you should dispose of IT responsibly. This is an assessed unit in that it is assessed by the exam board. You sit in the exam at the end of year 12 in the exam hall. That goes up to the exam board, they mark, and you get a result for that when you come back in year 13. Unit 2, this is where we create a large relational database. This is done in year 13. It's quite complex, and that's why we do it in year 13. And it's externally assessed by an exam. So you're coming for your exam. It'll be a 5-hour exam. You sit down and you are given all the tools. We teach you all the tools on how to create a database, and then you're given the data, and the exam board asks you to do certain things with that data, and then gets you to ask questions of that data using the database. The third unit is using social media in business. We get you to set up a social media campaign, which you run yourself. We encourage you to use a real company. If you don't, that's not a problem. This is a coursework unit which you will send, which we mark and then send off to the exam board. It's a lot of fun, and students have really enjoyed it and taken those on to into their careers at times. And unit 5, I said to you, I'll tell you a bit more why we chose this. When data is stored in companies, the vast majority of the time it's stored in spreadsheets, and I have students coming back to me often saying, I'm so glad that we study spreadsheets. I had a student come back to me, I think it was last year, and she works for Chelsea Football Club, and she said, the skills that I learned in doing spreadsheet work with you were just really stood me instead, and I've been able to take it on to use in the office now, and actually I show people how to use spreadsheets really well. So why should you do information technology as a BTEC? Well, it's used everywhere. Just about every sector of in the UK uses IT, from banking to transport to hairdressers to you name it. Every sector uses. I actually don't know many that don't use IT. It's broad. It covers a whole load of different applications. You can just see from the 4 units that we study there. It's really broad. It's a range of careers, actually, if you wanted to go into using IT specifically, that you could base your career around. And it's really rewarding. It's really, really rewarding career. This is what my career is built on, is IT. So what I'm going to do now for the next few minutes is I'm going to take some questions. Like I said, and this video should just loop around for you. You can watch it. I will mute myself and just pick up some questions from you, so that from the Q&A. So if you've got any, then you want to put them in the Q&A, if you could do that now. If you haven't got any questions, feel free to leave. There's no need for you to stay here any longer. So I'll mute myself now and then make myself available to answer any questions. Okay, so I've had a couple of questions there which I've answered. If you have any more questions, please do email us. I'm going to end the session now, and you're welcome to leave. Good night. Hope you enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.